Hey, everybody. We're going to get started in just about a minute, give some folks an opportunity to log in. I can see not everybody's here yet, and so we'll get started just in about a minute. Okay, my clock says we're at the top of the hour, and I do like to start and end as much on time as possible. Thank you for joining us for this webinar style training on our SmartCollect interface. I've had a lot of questions recently and requests for people to help them brush up on SmartCollect as we've kind of been in this COVID-19 quarantine situation. There have been some changeovers in personnel. There have been some people who've been away from it for a little while and just want to get back up to speed. And so I thought this might be a good way to do it and have everybody together. Please feel free to use the chat or the question function if you have any particular questions as we go along. And if there's something that we don't get to or something that we don't cover, please feel free to just shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'm happy to help you walk through a particular situation that you might be having in your own office. So first of all, let me say I hope you are well, and I hope you are staying safe. And I know that a number of you are in the process now of trying to reopen your office, and perhaps you've stayed active as far as doing emergency cases, but now we're starting to get back to what may be the new normal. And let me encourage you. This is a time when cash flow is going to be super important to your practice. You're going to need to keep the cash flowing as much as possible in order to get things geared back up and to take care of all the necessary extra expenses that you're having because of PPE and all of those things, and having not seen patients for a while. And so let me encourage you to spend the time now to get on your SmartCollect interface and to get the accounts that need to be sent to Transworld over so that we can be working on those accounts and hopefully collecting some money for you. If you're not using or are underusing the accelerator phase of our service, let me say this is a great way to get things back in gear. It's a very soft approach. We're doing it in the name of your practice. If you've not used accelerator before or you haven't used it in a while, let me strongly encourage you that this is a time when accelerator will kind of help you get the cash back into the office and keep things rolling. So I'm not going to make you look at my mug all this time. I'm going to go ahead and switch screens, and we're going to show you the SmartCollect interface. I think I'll pop down here in the corner, but if you, by some chance, are still using Dental Collect as the interface that you're using with Transworld Systems, Dental Collect is no longer the interface of choice. It is no longer going to be supported very soon. So we're gonna encourage everybody to get yourself converted over to the new SmartCollect. The layout is a little bit different. The look of it is a little bit different, but I think you're going to really like it once you get to know it a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know if you can see my chat window, but it's in my way, and it's keeping me from seeing the screen quite so large. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to leave the studio. I'm going to close the chat window, make the screen a little bit bigger. When you log on to SmartCollect, this is the screen that you're going to see. It's your decision screen. It's the first one in the menu right here. This is where you're going to be spending the majority of your time. Now, let me tell you just a little bit about SmartCollect. SmartCollect was created specifically for Transworld Systems by Sika Software. We are the only ones who have it. It's very similar to the old Dental Collect that we used in the Dental Collect Enterprise, with some modifications and some changes that I think you're going to like. It is an interface only. And so every one of my clients have that are using the interface, you have two websites that you can go to. One is SmartCollect. One is the Transworld Systems online client portal, which is now called My TSI. If you're not on the My TSI portal, we need to get you upgraded there as well. But understand that SmartCollect is simply a tool to assist you in getting accounts submitted to Transworld Systems and to get payments reported to Transworld Systems. It does not connect with Transworld in any other way, and there's no two-way communication between Transworld and your SmartCollect interface. And so once an account has been submitted to Transworld Systems, if you want to see where the account is in the process or what the current balance is or how it's doing, you will need to go to the online client portal or My TSI in order to find that out. You can look on here and you'll see the fact that you sent it, but you won't see any more up-to-date information. So use those two sites for their proper purpose and you won't get confused. And let me tell you too, if you haven't used SmartCollect or if you've underused SmartCollect or you haven't used it in a while, it is very, very simple. It is very intuitive. I'm going to show you exactly how it works and we'll go through the whole thing so that you fully understand what's going on. So this is your main screen. This is where you come to when you enter into SmartCollect. You see the three lines up here, which is a menu. That basically just collapses your other menu. So if you want to see the menu, leave it open. If you don't want it and you want the screen to be a little bit bigger, leave it closed. The first item on your menu here is your decision screen. This is where you make decisions about accounts that need to be sent to Transworld Systems. But before we look at the decision screen, I want to go and take a look at the settings screen because that determines who's going to actually show up here in the decision screen. So let's go down here where it says settings and click on there. This is your service setup. And typically we set this up when we first get started, but you may want to take a look at it and just make sure it's still set up correctly. So this, I'm looking at one screen and working on another screen. So if you see me continually looking over here, it's because I'm looking at a second screen. This drop down here will determine which one of the decision screens you're actually going to be looking at, and you don't see those. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, when I drop the little arrows here, it says accelerator, profit recovery, or collections. That is which decision screen you'll actually be looking at. You have three. One for accelerator to send accounts directly into accelerator, one for accounts that may be older on the books that you want to send directly into profit recovery and skip accelerator, and then one for very old accounts that you want to send directly into collections. Over here, it says archive after. This determines how long accounts will sit in the sent and hold screens before they take them out of the way, so you don't have to be looking at all the accounts. So the way that I prefer to set it up is that's 270 days. It will sit in profit recovery in the sent or the hold screen for approximately 270 days before it's moved into the archive screen. That's not crucial. It can be, I wouldn't make it much less than that, just because you're going to have to search all over the place for accounts. Down below here, you'll see three tabs, one that says accelerator, one that says profit recovery, and one that says collections. The accelerator tab, these file folder tabs will determine the settings for each one of those decision screens. So here's how I prefer to have it set up. If you prefer to have it set up another way, let me know and we'll talk about it. But this is the way that I've found that it works absolutely the best. So define the past due period. We prefer that this be used in place of your second statement. So we set it at 30 days past due. For some of you, especially the oral surgery practices that may have a longer wait time because you're filing two different insurances, we may have set this at 60 days. And that's fine if we did. Do not show charges older than, this should be 90 days. No matter whether you set this at 30 or this at 60, 90 should go here. And this little checkbox is checked so that you can put something in that box. Show balances above. Normally, I recommend to my clients that we set that at $50. If we've talked about it and you prefer to set it at a different amount, then you certainly have the right to do that. But anything under $50, it just isn't really economical for you to send it to us. And then the last thing over here is include all charges if at least one charge is past due. You want to check that so that we always have the correct balance. And you can go back, and so that's accelerator. We change profit recovery to 90 days to 240 days. That's my recommended setting. Still $50. Still check the box here. We're going to default to the diplomatic service code. It's either diplomatic intensive or NSF check. Diplomatic works best for all of you. And the paid in full code is paid in full, send thank you letter. If you want to be a Grinch and you don't want to send anybody a thank you letter, you can change that to just paid in full. Don't send a thank you letter, but we recommend that you do. It's great for keeping your patients and keeping them happy. It also serves as a receipt for them. When you go to the tab and set collections, the farthest out we can make this first one is 90 days. So we don't check this second box. So anything older than 90 days will show up under the collection screen. So there's going to be a little bit of duplication between the profit recovery screen and the collection screen. And when we get to the cleanup and doing the decision screens, I'm going to recommend that you clean up the profit recovery screen before you clean up the collection screen, just to wipe all of those out so that you don't have to be confused as to where you need to send them. The other settings are the same, $50, check, include all charges if at least one charge is past due. Once you get all of that set or checked, you want to go down here to save and save those settings. I'm not going to, well, yeah, I guess I am going to do it because I can't see it. Okay. For some reason, it's not showing up on my second screen. Let me play with this just a little bit. Pardon me for a second while I make it so that it fits on my screen. Okay, there we go. So down here, we want to go to the sent and click sent. And then it'll show you settings saved successfully. If you don't set it and you've changed anything and you want to go off of that screen, it'll yell at you. So you don't want them to yell at you. So just go ahead and save it anytime you make a change on this screen. Now, I will tell you that probably the only thing you should ever change on this screen is the little drop down here under use services, whether it's accelerator, profit recovery, or collections. And that will just determine which decision screen you're going to be looking at. Okay. So we've got the settings all the way we want them. Again, if you have a different way that you want to set them, please feel free just to let me know, and we'll talk about it and make sure that we're not causing any particular problems. Once you've got it all set, come back up here to the decision screen. Like I said, this is where you're going to spend the vast majority of your time. Now this will refresh every morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, unless we've changed the refresh time. But the fact is, it's going to refresh every day against your software. SmartCollect works for 99% of all dental software. So it works with your software, and it's going to choose based on the criteria we put in there, who is eligible for the accelerator service. Okay, so it's going to show you the client number, that's your client number with Transworld Systems, the guarantor ID number, which is the guarantor ID number in your software, guarantor name, and if you don't know who that person is guarantor for, you can click a button and it will show you, you can click on the name, it will show you everybody that they're guarantor for. In the day and age of different last names in the same family, this helps because sometimes it's hard to remember. It shows the total balance for that guarantor. If any insurance is owed, so if there's any insurance pending, the number will show up here. If you've sent them to TSI before for an amount that is active currently, it's going to show that in here. And then guarantor owes currently this much. The date of responsibility is the date of the earliest date of service not paid for. Date of last service, which is the last time they were into the office. Date of last payment and the amount. And billing method if you use that in your software. A lot of people don't. The notes field that's out here is simply for your benefit. You can enter notes in there for yourself just to remember if you were going to check on something or whatever. Now, if you decide, so what I recommend is you start here in Accelerator and you go through each one of these accounts and decide, do I want to send them or don't I want to send them? The rule is if they show up here, you're going to send them. The exceptions to because there are exceptions to every rule. The exceptions to that rule is you're not going to send them if they have insurance pending. Shouldn't send them yet. Or they have a negotiated payment plan with you and they're current. And so if you say, well, I know they have a payment plan, I don't know if they're current, you can look at the last payment. If the last payment is within the last 30 or 45 days, you know they're probably current. You also don't want to send them if it's the doctor's sister or another doctor or special person. And then also, you know, if this person is coming into the office today and you know they're bringing money, don't go ahead and send them until after they show up at the office and don't have any money with them. And then you can go ahead and send them. But in order to send somebody to Transworld Systems, and this will tell you again up here, this is your Accelerator screen because it says Submit New Accounts for Accelerator. All you do is check the box, check the box next to their name, which also doesn't show up on your screen. It shows up on mine, but it doesn't show up for some reason on yours. Check the box next to Accelerator and go over here and click the Send button. Now, you don't have to do them one at a time if you don't want to. You can go ahead and click as many as you want to send in the checkbox next to their name. Go here and click Send, and it will send that account to Transworld Systems. All the demographics and everything come right out of your software. If you choose to not send them for some reason, you have two choices. You can either leave them as pending, which I like to work with a clean work list every day. So I don't do it. You can leave them as pending, or you can check the box and click the hold button, which will put them into a hold screen. If you have a large list of patients on here that you really want to check out in your software for some reason, you can also export it to a comma delimited file, which you can open in Microsoft Excel, and you'll have it there to print out and take a look at if you want to. Once you get this cleared out or you're done with this for the day, then I'm going to want you to go back to the settings screen and change this little drop down to profit recovery. Then before you do anything else, go down here and click the save button. And now if you go back to your decision screen, you're going to see that it says, well, it's supposed to say submit new accounts for profit recovery service. Normally it would. There's nobody here though. And then that's because this is just a demo site. This is test data. You can, once you clean that screen out, you can go back and change it to collections and clean that one out. Now, I'm going to change it back to Accelerator because I do want to show you something you can do from any one of the decision screens. If you go back to the decision screen, oh, now it shows profit recovery. Okay, I'll show you here. So you go through the profit recovery, you take care of the ones that are on here. But let's say good old Orte has called you and basically said, I'm not going to pay. I'm broke, whatever. But you know he's not. If you decide, you can actually change this profit recovery and send him straight to collections. or accelerator or whatever you want to do. I would generally go by the recommendation of the interface. The ones in the profit recovery screen should go to profit recovery unless you know something special about the account. Start with your accelerator decision screen, clear that out, then move to profit recovery, clear that out, and then move to collections and clear that out. Now, those of you who in the past have used Dental Collect or Dental Collect Enterprise, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, how do I send the payments? Because on Dental Collect and Dental Collect Enterprise, there's another window down toward the bottom. And when somebody makes a payment and you post it into your software, the next day that payment shows up down here and you have to mark it send and send it to Transworld so that we know that it was paid. In SmartCollect, all of those payments are reported automatically. So you don't have to do anything with them. Once you put them into your software, the next time it updates, SmartCollect is going to notify us that that payment was made, and so you don't have to really do anything. So that saves you a little bit of time and effort. Down here, and that's your decision screen. That's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. Below the decision screen is the sent screen. So if you go here, whoops, I keep clicking on the wrong screen. If you click the sent screen, it's going to show you everybody that you have sent up until they get old enough to get sent into the archive screen. Now, notice here it says service type. Let me remind you, Transworld does not communicate two-way with SmartCollect. So just because this person says accelerator does not mean they're currently in accelerator. It means that's where you initially sent them. So it only knows where they went to when you sent them. If you want to find out where they are currently in Transworld in the process, you would need to go to your online client portal or My TSI, and you can look it up that way. If you're not sure how to use that, give me a call, because about a month ago, I did a webinar on the My TSI portal and went through all of this stuff with that, and I will send you the recording of that. And that should pretty much help you out as far as using My TSI. So everybody you've sent will show up in the sent screen. Everybody that you have said hold for will go into the hold screen. Hello, there we go. Nobody held. Once an account has been paid in full, or you have canceled it or whatever, it will go into the closed paid screen. And once it hits that date that we set up in the settings, it'll go into the archive screen. This will be, no matter what it is, it'll go into the archive screen. This is your settings screen. I'm going to recommend that you do not use the auto submit or the auto settings tab. Call me first and I will walk you through how to use that. You can set SmartCollect up to automatically send the accounts that it recognizes or that it pulls into your work list once a week. You still have the ability to go through and take them out if you want to, but it will never allow you to forget to send people. So it will automatically send them if they're in your decision screen at a certain point during the week. The practice aging is just going to give you a summary of your aging. So if you go here, it's going to show you number of accounts in your 30 to 60 day bucket, total dollars in your 30 to 60 day bucket, number of accounts in your 60 to 90 day bucket, and so on and so on and so on. You can also export that to a comma delimited file so that you can print a report or look at it in other ways as well. So that is essentially your SmartCollect interface. Now, this took a lot less time than I thought it was going to, so maybe I went too fast. But I'm going to go ahead and just give you a little bit of time to ask questions. If you have any, go ahead and type them into the chat or the questions box, and I will take the time to answer them, and I'll return you a little bit of unexpected time to your day because we got all the way through it. It's not complicated. It's very intuitive, And once you start using it, you'll realize that it is very, very simple. I recommend going into SmartCollect every day, because if you just take care of the ones that are in the decision screen every day, you won't have more than 5 minutes of work. Once you get everything cleaned up, you won't have more than 5 minutes a day. Katie says, service code diplomatic, what does that mean? All that affects is the first letter that we send in profit recovery. And there's two wordings of that letter. Well, actually, there's three wordings of that letter. If you choose diplomatic, which is just the default, you can change an individual one if you want to. It says courtesy notice. It says the creditor has asked us to contact you about the above referenced account. Please be advised that the account remains unpaid. So it is as low pressure and light touch as we can do, and still, keep it all regulatory okay. If you choose intensive, that sentence is replaced with a sentence that says, this account has been referred to us for professional collection. Not a lot more intensive, but it is more intensive, and it only affects that one letter. If you choose NSF check, then it is going to change the wording of the entire first letter, and it's going to basically say, we're contacting you about a check that was returned from the bank. We consider this to be very serious, blah, 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 blah. And so it's definitely pointed directly to an NSF check. So that's what the diplomatic is. I just recommend that most people default to the diplomatic, just because to me that makes more sense, especially in a dental practice. You want to be low pressure, low touch the first time we contact them, just so you don't get a lot of irate people. So we're not trying to run off your clients, your patients. We're simply trying to help you collect your money. So, Kanisha, hello. So I need to be using SmartCollect instead of Dental Collect from now on. If you're not using SmartCollect, I'll give you a call. We can go ahead and get you converted over. I think it's much easier. And there's going to come a time, and I think it's going to be fairly soon, where they won't be supporting Dental Collect anymore. In fact, I think if you put in a tech support request for Dental Collect, they're just going to convert you to SmartCollect anyway. So I will do that. I'll give you a call and we can get that set up for you. Roy, must you use the word creditor? Patients have been hitting back at us with poor Google reviews. Another reason why I recommend that you use the accelerator phase, because legally we must use the word creditor. It's one of those federal regulations that we have to do in the first letter of profit recovery. So if you use accelerator, then they're gonna have 5 contacts from your individual practice, just letting them know that their account is past due and you're trying to work with them and all that kind of stuff. The last one of accelerator simply says, if you don't pay your account within 10 days, it will be sent to Transworld Systems, a licensed collection agency. They really don't have anything to say at that point, but regulations are such that we have to word the first letter in certain ways and include certain legal language, and unfortunately that's part of it. So but it is really non-threatening. Now, I mean, maybe if you don't want us to use the word creditor, then you have to say the intensive, which is this account has been referred to us for professional collection. Either way. But the accelerator kind of gives them used to the idea that you're actually going to come after this and you want to collect the money. And then usually we don't see too much trouble. Any other questions, particular questions at this point? And you all know that you can call me at any time or email me, and I will be happy to handle any individual problems that you have. I just want to make sure everybody sees how SmartCollect works, feels comfortable with it. Kanisha will get you straightened out as quickly as possible and get you into the 21st century. So no problem there. Any other questions? You guys were way too easy. Let me know if there is anything that I can do to help you in getting your accounts receivable cleared up and cleaned up and ready to go as you're reopening your offices. I am still quarantined. My wife has some pretty serious risk factors for COVID-19. And so I'm trying to be as careful as I can so that I don't bring anything home. My travel and speaking schedule has been decimated for the spring and the summer, and everything's been pushed to the fall. So it's going to be pretty interesting in the fall. While I have you on the phone, just last minute kind of thing, most of you are aware that I have my own company besides Transworld Systems. It has been born out of over 30 years of medical and dental consulting. It's a company called Cash Flow Strategies. If there, and I can handle most anything that you need in order for you to increase your cash flow in your practice. If you'd like to explore further how maybe some ways that we can help you with your cash flow, I know that's a big deal right now. Cash flow is going to be top of mind on everybody as businesses start to reopen. There's no charge for my consultations. And even if I did charge other people, I wouldn't charge you guys anyway, because you're like family for me. You're my clients, you're my guys. So I would be more than happy if there's a way that I can help. Please just let me know. I would love to talk to you about it. When all the crazy ends and everything, I will be trying to get out and see you all as much as is possible. But for right now, that's impossible for me. So I'm chained to my desk and my computer pretty much. So you know where you can reach me. If I can help you through cash flow strategies in any way, or if I can help you through Transworld Systems in any way, I would very much love to do that. So please stay in touch. Please let me know. If there are no other questions, then I'm going to give you 13 minutes back, and we'll go ahead and end this. Let me know any questions come up or any needs. I'll be happy to take care of you. Please stay safe, stay well, and let me know how I can help. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.